If you're like me and want to feed yourself or your family with your very own homegrown produce, but have limited growing space, then it's critical to maximize every one of your precious square feet. So today, I'm going to share with you the 12 highest yielding crops per square foot to grow this season, and one unique planting tip for each of them as we go. And since the garden is currently below freezing level, we're going to go through these inside here. So coming in at 12th place are radishes. You can start them super early on in the year, and it's only 30 to 50 days to go from seed all the way through to harvest. Now, in terms of planting tips, the first one is to plant 9 per square foot. And when you make each of those 9 little divots, place 3 seeds into each one of the divots and don't thin them at all. And as they begin to grow, they'll simply push each other away, growing into that new space and not slowing down or decreasing their size at all. Now, coming in at 11th is arugula. And this is without question my favorite leafy green. I absolutely love that kind of peppery flavor of it. And on top of that, it also grows really, really fast and can do really well in the colder temperatures at the beginning of the season. So it's one of those crops that you can be harvesting and enjoying before the garden really even starts to take off. So my planting tip for you is to plant successions of arugula. And what I mean by this is carve out a space, maybe 2 or 4 square feet, and plant your arugula at 9 per square foot. And then in the area right beside it, leave it empty for about 1 month. Then after 30 days, plant your second area. Now, 30 days in, your first crop is going to be starting to get ready to be harvested and enjoyed. Then as soon as it starts to bolt and go to flower 20 to 30 days later, your second crop is now ready to start getting harvested and enjoyed. So you can then rip out your first crop and plant a third crop in that area. That succession of one after another will allow you to have arugula greens all through the season. Now, coming in at 10th are onions. If you're like me, you go through tons of onions each week in the different meals that you're cooking for yourself and your family. And the great news with onions is that A, you can plant them really, really densely, and B, once they're planted, they're really low maintenance, low work until it's time to be harvesting them. So 2 quick planting tips for onions is first, actually buy them as seedlings rather than starting them from seed. See, you absolutely can start them from seed. You're gonna have to do so really early on in the year. So instead, what I like to do is just go to the nursery in April and buy a pack of onion seedlings at that time. Generally, for just $3 or $4, I can get 40 or 50 onion seedlings to then be planting into the garden. And secondly, when it comes to planting them, plant them really densely. So if you want tons of onions coming out of your beds this season, plant 9 per square foot. Now, coming in at 9th is a really cool one, and that is bush beans. And what I love about bush beans is that I never give them any dedicated space in my garden. Instead, what I do is start a ton of bush bean seeds, and then anywhere that I have blank spots in my garden that is just gonna be bare soil otherwise, I plant my bush beans into those areas. So the planting tip on this front is to simply not plan for your bush beans to have a dedicated chunk, but rather start them and then just pop them into the blank areas or any bare soil that you have, and you'll be rewarded with some really nice bowls of beans to be enjoying through the season. Now, my 8th favorite crop for maximizing harvest and yield are peppers. Last year, from just 4 pepper plants, I had more than 500 cayenne peppers come off of those plants. You really only need to plant 2 or 3 of them in order to get all the peppers that you need for the upcoming year. And my planting tip for you on peppers is to grow them in grow bags instead of raised beds. See, I had heard about this from a couple of different individuals that they grow better in grow bags. So last year, I of course ran it as an experiment as well. Those that I planted in the raised beds, they did fine, they did okay. But those that I planted in the grow bags put out hundreds and hundreds of flowers that developed into beautiful peppers for me to be harvesting later on in the season. And you're simultaneously increasing the size of your garden by utilizing these grow bags to expand the size of it. Now, moving on to number 7, we have basil. And this one isn't the biggest in terms of volume, but it's without a doubt my favorite herb and something that finds its way into tons of different dishes. It is such a big and explosive pop of flavor that I love to have in my garden. So when it comes to planting basil, 2 quick tips for you are to companion plant it with your tomatoes. So for each 1 tomato plant, also plant 2 basil plants at the base. And as your tomato plant begins to grow, remove that lower foliage so the basil can still get lots of sun. And secondly, when it comes to harvesting your basil, don't harvest the individual leaves. Rather, trace the main stem up the plant. And where you see 2 leaves branching off of the main stem, pinch the main stem right above this. Now, out of the node right where those leaves are, 2 new main stems will emerge. Therefore, each time that you harvest your basil this way, the plant is going to multiply, and as a result, at the end of the season, you're gonna have a huge basil forest, and before the temperatures get really cold, you can pull all those plants out, harvest all of the leaves, process them into pesto, and pop them into your freezer, and now you'll be able to enjoy pesto from your garden all winter long. Moving on to number 6, we have garlic. Now this one would be higher on the list because I love it so much, but the top 5, you just get so much production and yield per square foot that I couldn't justify putting it any higher. And what I love about garlic is that you basically plant it in the fall time and you don't really have to do anything whatsoever for 9 months, and then you get to harvest it and have this incredible crop of garlic. And the biggest tip that I can give you for planting garlic is to plant the biggest cloves that you can find. Just by making this one change and planting the biggest cloves possible, you're gonna be able to double the size of your garlic. So the way that you go about doing that is buy more seed garlic than you need and break all of those heads down into individual cloves. Put the biggest cloves aside and you're gonna use those ones in your garden, and all of the smallest cloves, put those into the kitchen and use those ones for your cooking. Now, before we get to the top 5, you're probably thinking these planting tips are great, but what do I do the rest of the season to help these plants thrive so I can get a huge harvest off of them later on in the year? And in my online gardening club, Grounded, there's 2 specific things that I think will really help you. First, you have access to live lessons and live office hours hosted by me. So this allows me to be supporting you every step of the way, making sure you're doing the exact right things each month through the gardening season to end up having an incredible harvest later on in the year. And secondly, for all of these crops that we're going through, there's on-demand video growing guides that are going to take you from seed all the way through to harvest. I don't publish these video growing guides anywhere else. They're more than 30 minutes in length and really like the synthesization of all of my learnings and experiments on these particular crops. And that becomes your starting point before planting these crops this season. So if you want to bring your dream garden to life and start feeding yourself and your family from your backyard, then head to the link in the description of this video or scan the QR code to join us in Grounded. Now into the top 5 crops, starting with number 5, we've got zucchinis. And you'll know you've mastered zucchinis when you've got so many that you're starting to just drop them off on the doorstep of your neighbors, because once these babies start growing, they are absolutely prolific. Now, the one issue with zucchinis are that once they start growing, they also get absolutely massive. So my planting tip for you on this front is to plant them on the edge of your beds. And this will allow you to train them and direct them towards open space, opposed to into the middle of the raised bed where they would be taking up tons of our precious real estate. Now, coming in at number 4, we have carrots. And what I love about carrots is that once we plant them, they're really low maintenance. You can kind of just leave them in the ground and harvest them whenever you're ready, really all the way into the wintertime as well. And once you've harvested your carrots, they store extremely well. Now, when it comes to planting your carrots, I really encourage you to use a specific blend of soil for your carrots. This is another area that I've experimented with a ton, and what I've found is that carrots grow best in a blend of 50% compost and 50% sand. This introduces just a little bit more drainage, which they seem to really like. Now, into our final top 3, and coming in at 3rd are cucumbers. And this is another crop that's just so good fresh, but of course, preserving them as pickles is absolutely phenomenal as well. And the big encouragement that I have for you when it comes to planting your cucumbers is to plant them on an A-frame trellis. See, as that cucumber grows, coming out of the main stem, right off of where a leaf is going to be a sucker, just like a tomato plant. And this sucker, if it's allowed to grow, is ultimately going to put out more flowers, which will develop into fruit as well. The challenge is that it can turn into a complete mess. But if they're planted at the base of an A-frame trellis, they can now start spreading anywhere on that A-frame, and then the cucumbers, as they start to develop and get bigger, are going to hang right in the middle, making it super easy for you to be harvesting them off. Now, coming in at second place are potatoes. There's something just about getting your hands into the soil, digging around, and coming across those beautiful potatoes that feels like the closest thing to digging for gold that I've at least experienced. Now, when it comes to planting your potatoes, biggest recommendation that I can make to you on this front is to plant them deep. See, those new potatoes that we're going to be harvesting will only grow off the portion of the stem that's buried. Therefore, the more stem that we have buried, the more space we have for new potatoes to grow and start developing. My recommendation for you is to plant them about 8 to 10 inches deep, and trust me, they're going to push through the surface and be totally fine. And last but not least, coming in first place, my favorite crop for bounty, harvest, yield, feeding ourselves over the course of the season are tomatoes, and more specifically, cherry tomatoes. See, what I love about cherry tomatoes is that once they start getting to maturity, every single week there are hundreds of cherry tomatoes that we can be harvesting and enjoying off of those plants. Now, in terms of planting tips for tomatoes, this is a controversial one, and it is to stop pruning your cherry tomatoes. So as that tomato grows, I encourage you to trellis it vertically overhead so it can climb vertically. And now coming off of that main stem at each of the different leaf nodes is going to be a sucker, just like the cucumber. And some people will prune all of those suckers off. However, I just finished an experiment last year, and those that I left, kind of like 3 to 6 of those suckers on the plant, significantly outperformed the tomato plants where I removed all of the suckers. And one final piece on that front is that by leaving those suckers on, it can get a little bit hectic, a little bit crazy. And so not only do I encourage you to trellis them vertically, but also to corral the tomatoes horizontally. What I did was put a screw into my trellis every 6 inches and then wrap yarn from one side to the other. And now as those suckers grow, I can simply weave them back into that corral to keep it in one nice big tomato wall. So those are my 12 favorite crops for maximizing bounty and harvest and yield. Let me know down in the comments if you've got any different ones or favorites on your end that I didn't touch on. And lastly, if you want to have your absolute best gardening season ever and be feeding yourself and your family from your garden, then head down to the link in the description of this video to join us in Grounded, and we'll bring that to life. I'll see you over there.